everybody, Jeremy here. So I am outside of a luthier's guitar shop getting my guitar set up. And since I gotta wait for that to be done, I decided to just make this video. So, the big crazy things that's been happening over this past week with the stock market and what's been going on with GameStop stock skyrocketing and just being pumped by people on Reddit and other platforms, just really trying to stick it to these short sellers that bet on businesses failing so that they can make a buck, and now how all that has just been turned on its ear, and the little guy's making a lot of money. It's one of those things where I often think to myself, I wish I knew what the next big thing was going to be so that I could have invested in it and made a whole bunch of money later on down the line. Like when Google first went public and seeing how low that price was, and like, man, if only at that time I would have known. And you can say the same thing with, Tesla. You can say the same thing with even with crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and in this case, GameStop. Going back to 2020, back in let's say like August, when the stock price was around like $4. This is one of those things where no one could have predicted anywhere that these kind of events would happen, because it's just completely out of the ordinary. All these YouTube videos, people in their fancy monitors and graphs and charts and candles and predicting price points and everything, like all that was just thrown out the window. Like, this is truly uncharted territory. And wow, I wish I was a part of that community at that time, so that could have seriously made bank. But good on the people who managed to get in before the price got ridiculously high. And these places like Robinhood and like Webull and some of these other exchanges really just manipulating the system by preventing people from buying more. And even with crypto on Robinhood, for Dogecoin, 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 I mean, it's such, no one can really even say how to pronounce it, really, because it's just so wacky. But Robinhood restricting buying that with instant deposits, it's just crazy. But here's like my personal story with all that stuff. you know um when it came to cryptocurrency a while ago, months and months and months ago, I decided to buy Bitcoin for the first time. I wasn't going, there's no way in heck I'll be able to afford a full Bitcoin, so I just bought a portion of it. And I bought $25 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase. And I was looking at these YouTube videos, and this guy was talking about it was Clear Tax Value, who now makes a lot of videos every day about mostly about what's going on in Washington with stimulus checks and news and stuff like that. But when he first really started to blow up, it was all about the stimulus checks. But every now and then he would talk about this altcoin called Ava and this company called Travala. And he was talking about how great it was doing. Now, of course, when you see people do that on YouTube, you think that, oh, okay, they're trying to pump this up because they are obviously invested in it and they want you to invest in it, and so the price will go up and then they're going to bail and then everyone else is going to lose money and stuff. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Maybe that's what he's doing. But I had $25 in Bitcoin. It's $25. If I lose it, then whatever. It was just $25. So I took that money and I took it over to the KuCoin exchange, and I exchanged it for Ava, and I just let it sit there. Kind of just forgot about it. Check back on it some weeks later, and I see that, man, it's worth now like 70 something bucks. I think at one point my $25 in Bitcoin had turned into the equivalent of around close to $150 worth of Travala. And I finally decided to pull out when it was like at $90 or something. So when it reached like 90, then I just sold the Travala and I converted it back to Bitcoin, and I just let it sit there in Coinbase before I knew about like cold wallets and stuff. And then more time goes by. I'm not thinking about it. I decide to check Coinbase, and I just keep seeing the Bitcoin go up, and it was worth like $250 at one point. And I'm like, man, I started with $25 just playing with this stuff and doing virtually next to nothing. It was worth $250 in a matter of months. Thought that was pretty cool. So then this one day, I get up really, really early in the morning, because I got two kids and one-year old. So of course she still wakes up in the middle of the night. And I check Twitter and I see like this Dogecoin is trending. This meme coin, it's blowing up. I get on Robinhood. I see that it was I think the price was like 0.0073 or something. It was hovering around that mark. This was probably about a month ago. So I'm like, sure, why not? So I put like $100 into it. That same day, at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, the price had risen to above 1 cent. It was almost to 2 cents. And the price had doubled, basically. So, I was like $100 into it, and it was worth like 215. And of course, I'm like, oh my God, it's going crazy, it's going crazy. And then the whole thing is like, well, what do you do now? When do you sell? Do you just keep holding? Because the Doge, I'm just gonna call it Dogecoin. The Dogecoin community, they're always talking about hold, hold, hold. It's like you never sell, no matter what. You keep holding. And I was doing that. And then as soon as it hit that peak, it started going down and down and down. And I panicked. It was my first time doing that. My hands were paper. So I was like, oh my God, I don't want this is over, man. It was pumping up. This is done. So I think I sold it for like a $20 profit. Moments after I sold it, the price started going back up again. And then I got immediate FOMO. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll buy back in. And then I bought back in at a higher position than what I initially came in as. And so it went from going in at like 7.36 or something, and now I'm up to like 9.4. Crazy. And this whole thing kind of continues. It goes up, you feel good about yourself. It goes down, you start to panic a little bit. What's going on? What's going on? And at the end of the day, I ended up buying more of Doge, and I was selling it, and I would buy it again, and then I would sell it again. And at the end of the day, I wound up with like $30. And I was like, I'm just going to leave this here. Forget it. And then I just took everything else, and I was like, I'm just going to invest this in Cardano, the altcoin Cardano, for like long-term stuff. And so that's where it kind of stopped. Dogecoin was just sitting there, just kind of hovering around the 1 cent, a little bit under, a little bit over, because it's driven entirely by hype. There's no real utility for that Dogecoin, unlike some other types of cryptocurrency where, there's actually some type of platform around it, some sort of real world usage. This is just basically hype. And that was the thing that people was really kind of down on it about, because, like, this is a meme coin. It's not even, what does it do? It's not even real. This is just a joke. This is just internet people doing internet things. But then we can see now what happens when internet people do internet things. Dogecoin, as of a couple of days ago, it's Saturday, Dogecoin on Thursday night surged like crazy, all the way up to over 8 cents. No one ever predicted that it would get that high in this period of time. No one. You look on the internet, you look at YouTube videos, people trying to track things and like, oh, I think it's going to be like this and that. No one thought 8 cents. Nobody. That was the all-time high. People were riding the wave. Elon Musk tweeted out this kind of vague Dogecoin meme. He didn't actually say it, but you knew that's what he meant. And, and of course that helped it to go up. And it was just insane. And then after that 8 cents, it's just started to go down further and further and further and further. And the last time I checked, right before doing this video, I think it was about a little under 3 cents now. So, man, those insane profits, depending on how much you put into it, were to be had at 8 cents. But, if you didn't sell at that time, it's gone now. Will it go back up? I don't know. I didn't sell this time because I knew that every time that I sold, I always regretted it. And this whole situation has kind of showed me to, not panic, because it's not like it's money that I couldn't afford to lose. That's the whole thing. You only put in what you are comfortable with losing. So I figured, if this goes belly up, whatever, I'll be fine. But when you start watching the money evaporate before your eyes, it does induce some kind of a panic. But just in more doing it, you become more comfortable with it, and it's more easy to brush it off, and it's easier to let it go. Will it get back up to 8 cents? Who knows? Nothing makes sense anymore. Will it go above 8 cents? Who knows? Maybe. Who thought that GameStop would go from $4 to, at one point, I think it was like over 400 in a matter of months? How is that even possible? It's unlikely, but it's possible. Dogecoin to $1, is it possible? I don't know. Seems extremely unlikely, but so do other things. So I don't know. But I'm just going to continue to hold it. I'm going to follow the mantra, keep holding, and hopefully something good will happen. But at the end of the day, I hope that this has really turned on a lot of people to the world of stocks and investing and cryptocurrency. Right now, people just like myself just would jump in, don't really know much about anything, but you just kind of want to be a part of it. You want to be a part of the game. But then after the hype dies down, it'll be good to see regular people, ordinary people, paying more attention to these kind of things and thinking about stocks and gains and long-term gains at that, seeing what is capable in this market situation, because this has just been a game that's been played by the big wigs and fat cats for years, and they don't want people like us to get in on it. And when we do get in on it, when they do criticize people who are not very wealthy, and when the conversation comes around about helping out the little guy, they're the first ones to say, well, maybe if they were better with their money, maybe if they were to invest more instead of buying PlayStations and Jordans and iPhones, maybe they can get somewhere in life financially. And then people start doing that collectively, and now they're like, no, you can't do this. You need to change the rules. You need to halt the trades. You need to suspend how much people can buy. You need to throw in all these different options. And then you see like these exchanges are in bed with these short sellers and all these other people, and then they bail them out. But then you find out that, oh well, they have a vested interest in these people succeeding. The whole thing is a game. The whole thing is rigged. It really, really is. And now is being exposed for that. And hopefully there can be some real accountability, not for the people who played the game the way that it is and the little guy made money, but for these exchanges that just suddenly decide, hey, we're going to limit people's ability to buy things. But let the fat cats do whatever they want. Hopefully there'll be some changes in that regard, and we can all just help out each other financially, and we can play this game too. It's more of us than there is of them. But anyway, I've been rambling on for quite a long time, waiting for my guitar to be done. I wanted to get the action lowered on it, and then I also wanted a lighter gauge string, and then I said that I could have sworn I had mediums on that thing, and I was like, I wanted a light gauge, and it was like, oh, you really want it lighter than this? And I'm like, yeah. And then I came back out here, and I was like, you know what? No, I changed my mind. I don't want light string. Well, actually, they were extra light, and then I immediately regretted it. Like, I don't want extra light on a dreadnought. That seems like a really bad idea. So I was like, no, stop everything. Put the old strings back on. I'll pay you for them. So that's what I'm doing now. But anyway, This is just a rambling video, me sitting in my car thinking about Dogecoin and stocks, stonks, and cryptocurrency and all that stuff. And yeah, definitely look into it if you're interested. And play the game if you want to play the game. But just know that the golden rule is if you don't want to lose it, don't put it in. Because you could very well lose all of it. Or at least a sizable portion of it. Don't bet the rent. Don't bet your stimulus check if you really, really need it. But it's all up to you. So anyway, that's it, guys. I will see you later. And take care of yourself. Mask up. 2 of them if you got them. And catch you next time.